ever had a weekend free to game, or just wanted a game you could quickly finish between grinding, then this is the series for you. So the Weekend Warrior series is where I'll go through games you can beat within a weekend. So main campaigns you can finish in under 10 to 15 hours or less. So this is about games you can play on a day off, or just something to clean your palate from endless grinding for season passes. So let's start off with the first game. So Sunset OverDrive, made by Insomniac Games in 2014, before they got bought out by Sony, it has a campaign you can finish in, you guessed it, around 10 hours. But short campaign aside, you might be wondering, nearly a decade later, does Sunset OverDrive hold up? Well, I guess I kind of made this video, so you kind of realize it absolutely does. However, it not only holds up today, it's kind of weirdly refreshing. It brings a sense of nostalgia for fans for games like Saints Row 3, Borderlands, or Ratchet & Clank. But before we go too far, let's start off by talking about what Sunset OverDrive actually is. So Sunset OverDrive is a third-person perspective open-world parkour shooter, set in a not-too-distant dystopian future overrun by zombie-like mutants called ODs. The game isn't your typical dystopian world. It's vibrant, bright, and has a punk rock feel. And in this game, you'll complete missions, customize and unlock unique weapons and abilities for your character. And when it comes to gameplay, the game has a main story, side missions, time trials, horde mode, and open world where you can explore for materials to help unlock even better weapons. So while the main story is only about 10 hours, you can actually play for a couple dozen more. But where Sunset OverDrive succeeds the most is in its ability to remind you that sometimes the most important part of gaming is fun. You know, back in a time when not every gaming experience needed to be 50 hours, main campaign, where 10 hours of fun is better than 50 hours of filler, and that's where the game shines. It's its ability to not take itself too seriously. It's constant, and I do mean constant commitment to creating a unique experience. That's also the issue of being a unique game. You'll either love or hate the game's setting and tone. But speaking of fun, the game's philosophy is really highlighted in the traveling/movement system. The character movement at times feels like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. You grind railings, use cars as jump pads, and you gain character boosts called Style to charge up. It's a fresh change of pace to play a shooting game where you're constantly grinding through the city, using your parkour skills to do bigger damage. However, this constant moving while fighting is also necessary, because hate it or love it, if you stay on the ground for too long, you'll be swarmed by enemies and take massive damage. Also, these different ways of traveling tie into the game's multiple missions and are mandatory mechanics for some boss battles. But traveling is not the only area that highlights the attention to detail and the focus on fun that the game has. The game has unique weapons that merge the theme and setting. The weapons truly feel like a dystopian mad scientist put them together with whatever they had laying around. So you do have the standard pistol, but then you also have weapons that shoot a doll that is a poison sprinkler, or a gun that shoots drones holding pistols. So the uniqueness of the weapons make you want to try out all the different types. And the game even has a quick video to show you how each weapon works before you buy it, which I found a pretty cool little feature. But speaking of movement and weapons, combat in the game merges between its movement systems and unique weapons. So as you take out enemies and move around the map, you gain style score. So this score will supercharge your weapons and abilities. However, if you stop moving, then your score will go down. So you're forced out of cover and encouraged to constantly move and take enemies head on. Now where this game really shines is its story. Absolutely no surprise that being made by Insomniac Games, this feels like a Ratchet & Clank but for older people. However, when it comes to the overall story, it is a game where I suggest you don't worry about those things and you just enjoy yourself. The game's writing constantly breaks the fourth wall. So this includes at one point your character questioning how there is a narrator, and another point in the game where it tells you about the rule of 3, where you have to complete mission objectives 3 times for the sake of it. It is a complete understatement to say that this game is self-aware. It even has a vulgar and gore filter setting to turn it off. So when it comes to issues in the game, when jumping and trying to grind, you may not always register quick enough. However, this wasn't really a regular or a big issue. And this also goes to aiming while shooting. It can be a bit challenging with a constant speed. However, aim assist mostly does its job. But overall, is Sunset OverDrive worth playing? Well, the game truly is a unique experience worth playing. Its vibrant setting, unique weapons and movement make it a game that a decade later still holds up. It really is a unique experience that you can rarely find anymore, and a game that focuses on the fun. A game you can finish in 10 hours.